Have you ever been scared of dentists or the dark? Have you ever been scared of pretty girls or starting conversations? Well, I have a little solution for you. Right? It's something that's been proven by science to make you look more attractive and seem much more personable to anyone you meet. It's called playing the guitar. So for this little demonstration, if you want to follow along, there's only 3 things that you really need. So it's going to be a guitar, a pick, and your hands. Now, playing with one hand is an option, but 2 hands is recommended. An optional requirement for this could be the capo, which helps modulate the key that you're singing in. Now this makes it a little bit higher or lower depending on the pitch that you'd like to sing at, but it's optional. You don't actually have to use one of those for this little thing. So we're going to go over a couple of the basic chords for a song called Riptide by Vance Joy. So these chords are going to be the C chord, the A minor chord, and the G chord. Okay. So what I have here is called a tablature. Right? I know a lot of times it may seem kind of daunting whenever you look at sheet music and say, "Oh, I could never play the guitar because I don't know how to read this." And really, it's quite basic. This is a different type of form for the writing out of music. It's called a tablature. And so it's a diagram of the guitar. So if you can read a bathroom sign, you can read a tablature. So each of these bars here represent a string. So we're going to start with this one over here, which is the first string, and going all the way to the 6th string. It's going to be E, A, D, G, B, E. Now, that's not important for the objective of this demonstration. The most important thing is just remember that the left is 1 and the right is 6, right? So the other numbers that you're going to need to know are your fingers, right? So it's going to be 1 through 4, beginning with your index finger as 1 and your pinky finger as 4. So for the C chord, we start over here. First finger is going to be on the 1st fret of the 5th string. Your 2nd finger is going to be on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and your 3rd finger is going to be on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. It might sound a little bit complex, but once you see it in person, it's going to be much, much easier to comprehend. Now for the C, you're not going to play the E string at all. It's a common misconception that you play all the strings at once, but the truth is, if you see an X over a tablature, you do not play that string. So you begin with the 2nd string and you play all the way down. So these zeros here represent an open string, rather they're O's. For the A minor, it's going to be, again, ignoring the E string. You're going to start on the A string. You're going to put your 3rd finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. You're going to put your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string. You're going to put your 1st finger on the 1st fret of the 5th string. Okay. Again, you're going to be playing an open A or an open 2nd and an open 6th string. For the G chord, again, we're going to start on the 1st string. So you're going to be playing all 6 strings. You're going to be starting with your 2nd finger on the 3rd fret of the 1st string, your 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the 2nd string, and your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the 6th string. So I'm going to demonstrate here what a C chord looks and sounds like. So again, grab your pick, your hands, and your guitar. You're going to start with your 1st finger on the 1st fret of the 5th string, your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. So that's a C, that's what it should sound like. That's an A minor, and that's a G. So it's going to take a little bit of practice to really get them sounding clear, but once you give it some time, you're able to sound it much more clearly. And the next step would be working on strumming patterns. So the strumming pattern for this song is a very simple down, down, up, down. Okay? So that sounds a little more complicated than it actually is. So I'm going to demonstrate right here. It's going to be down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, down. So down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down. Very, very simple strumming pattern, and you just play that throughout the whole song. So songs in essence are chords, which are just patterns using your fingers and strings, plus strumming, and that gives you a song. Hopefully this demonstration has shown you that playing guitar is not this daunting task. It's very, very simple, and as long as you can read a tablature, you can play the guitar. It takes a little bit of practice, but I promise you it's worthwhile. I made some of my best friends through playing music, and I really encourage you guys to pursue it as a passion or a hobby. Thank you.
All right. You went way over.
So,
You went 6 minutes.
it's okay. So, any questions? This is now time for questions.
What is a question? For people like me, I don't play the guitar, never. What's better to start off with the metal strings or the nylon ones?
Okay, so before I answer your question, there are differences between strings, right? So what I'm using are some bronze-coated strings, but the nylon strings are much more softer. Those would tend to be used in classical guitar. So they're a wider neck, which gives you more space for your fingers, and this allows you for much lighter pressing touches. So eventually you're going to want to use metal strings because I personally like the sound of them, but nylon strings are great for beginners too.
Okay.
Angela?
How long does it take to learn the basics?
There's an estimate of about 6 months to really get it down. The other thing that I commonly hear is that if you do anything for an hour a day for 22 days straight, it's something that you'll get ingrained in you. So honestly, it depends how much you practice. If you practice, 3 hours a day for a month, you'll be able to master it a lot faster than if you only practice 30 minutes every other day. So yeah.
Okay.
Anyone else? Yes.
I forgot. All right. Yeah, I think that's it.